It's your boy Unbeatable bringing you guys another Fortnite Battle Royale video, and as you guys can read in the title, yes, I'll be showing you how to tunnel faster and the different types of tunnels in Fortnite that you guys can do. This is for all Fortnite players, bad or good. So I'll be showing you the different types of tunnels and how you can do it faster and the methods, everything. As usual, if you want to see me live, if you want to see this live, go follow my Twitch, Unbeatable22007. I'll be live 8 to 12 pretty much every single day. And finally, if you want to participate in any of my future videos, as well as giveaways, comment the word gamer down below. Also, comment whether you guys want to watch on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe because I upload pretty much every single day, and that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you at the end. I'm out. Peace. Okay, so we are going to start with a tunnel that's pretty relatively easy for any player if they play Fortnite a lot or not. It's I think it's the easiest method of tunneling. It doesn't really have a name, but I'll call it, I don't know. No, I don't really call it a name. It's really easy for players that don't play so much, or even if you play a lot. This is a very easy method. It doesn't waste a lot of mats, and it's very useful for endgame if you play arena. So that's very useful. So let's get right into it. Okay, so like I said, let's start off with the easiest one. So basically, what you're gonna want to do is put a floor, and then put a ramp like behind you, like when you're walking in the middle of the floor, and just like look down. If you want to, it's a little easier, but when you get better at it, you won't need to look at it. Look down, and that's me doing it fast right there, and it's very useful. Like, nobody will be able to shoot at you from the side if you do it from the side or behind you. So it's a very useful method that even like any of my friends can do, any bad controller player or PC player can do. It's very easy, and as you guys can see, it's very protective from the side. Right now they won't be able to shoot you right there, and from behind it's really hard as well. They have to shoot at the stair first, and it's very, very hard to shoot at. So let's go to the second one. Okay, so the second one is relatively a little harder, because pro players use this sometimes during endgame if they really want to if they really want to be protective with their teammates, or if they're playing solos. This is a really good one. Even pro players use. It's pretty hard, but all my friends can do it. Like, any good or decent controller player can do this. It takes a little practice, like 5 minutes, but you'll get the hang of it after. So let's get right into it. Okay, so the second one, like I said, is a little harder than the first one, but it's pretty much the same concept, just a little bit more protective, and it wastes a little bit more mats. So what you do is put a floor, a stair, and a wall, so that that the opponent can't shoot you from both sides, and pretty much no one can shoot you unless they're like right next to you on your left. But they have to get into your box first, which is extremely hard. So no one can shoot you with this. Like, no one will be able to shoot you, not even height, because you're protecting them with the stair on the bottom. So it's very hard. It takes a little bit of practice. Like I said, I don't do tunnels that much. I specifically stick to the one I'll show you guys later. But this one is a little harder, but it's way more protective. It wastes one more mat, and it's very useful. Even a bunch of pro players use this for endgame. Like I said, it's really protective on the height, if someone's on height, or if they're on the side or they're in front of you. No one will be able to hit you if you learn this, and it doesn't take a lot of mats. It's very useful, and your friends can just go behind you and just watch you tunnel. So yeah, so this is really hard. I recommend you practice this too. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so the next one is a little harder, but it doesn't take a lot of mats, and it's very not really protective, because someone can shoot you from in front if they're in front of you. So it's a little, like, not really protected, but it's very useful for the sides, or if you just want to tunnel like in endgame. It's really good. And but like I said, but more players use this than the last one because it's a little bit harder to do, I guess, because you might mess up and put an extra stair or something, or an extra wall, which is kind of hard. But it's also a really good one, so let's get right into it. Okay, so this one is kind of hard, but you'll get the hang of it eventually. This is the one I use a decent amount. It's pretty it's pretty good actually, so I use it a lot, but it's one of my main tunneling, and it's kind of really protective. Like, the only problem with this is that it wastes a lot of mats doing this, and so it's a little easier to go like forward with the other methods, but this one's also really hard. But it's like, but any controller player or PC player can do this. It's relatively easy once you get the hang of it. But it just, the only problem with it, like I said, is it wastes a lot of mats. And look, it's very protective. No one can shoot from either side or from the top on height. So, like I said, it's very protective, and it's one of my favorites personally. But if you don't have a lot of mats, I don't really recommend this. Let's get to the next one. Okay, so this one is my favorite by far. It doesn't waste a lot of mats, and it's very protective, except when someone's in front of you. But if you're rotating early, you should be fine. So what you do is you just put a wall on both sides, and you put a floor, and then you should be fine. It took me not that long to figure it out, but sometimes you'll see. You'll see at the end. Just stay tuned. So basically, like I said before, put a floor, or just two floors and two walls, so you're protected by both sides, except in front of you, which is the only problem about this, but it doesn't take a lot of mats. It takes a little bit of practice to do this, but you should be fine. Once in a while, you put a wall in front of you, but not that much, and it's an easy tunnel method that anyone can do. But the last one coming up is the hardest one. That takes a lot of practice for good PC or controller players. So stay tuned for that. But this is the one I use the most because it's easier, and personally it's really good. But once in a while you put a wall in front of you, just you have to edit that, but that should be fine. So yeah, let's go to the next one. Okay, so this one is, like I said before, the hardest tunnel that good PC or controller players have to learn, but it's really hard. I don't practice it that much, that's why I'm not that good at it, but I highly recommend you practice it because it's really good, and it doesn't waste a lot of mats. It wastes a little bit more mats than the last one, but it still wastes a decent amount of mats, but it's very good. It protects you from people in front of you and people from the sides and behind you and like on top of you, so it's really good. It's the best method, but you need to be good at editing for this, and not all my friends can do this, so because it's really hard. That's why the other ones are so good to learn. But this one, I recommend you learn it because it's the best, but it's also the hardest. So just stay tuned and okay. So this one is, like I said before, it's a little harder to do, and you need to be good at editing to do it. You need to be a little bit better and a little practice editing for this one, but it's way more useful than all the other ones, but it's a lot harder and it requires a decent amount of mats, but it's very useful because people in front of you can't really shoot you. So what you do is you put a floor on the bottom, a floor on top, and a walls on the side. So like I'm doing right now, just follow that and you'll do it pretty fast. It takes a lot of practice to do this one because it's so hard and you need to be good at editing to do it. But it's very useful because people in front of you have a really hard time shooting you because you keep editing in front of you, and people behind you can't shoot you. Like people on top of you, on the sides, or behind you have a hard time shooting you as well because it's so fast, and your editing like confuses the opponent. If you want, you can go on the side sometimes and on the side instead of in front to confuse the people in front of you. So that's really useful. But then another really useful, it requires a little bit more mats, is put a wall or a stair behind you. And this is very useful because if you're trying to run away, It's harder for the person behind you to shoot you because you have a stair behind you, and that's very useful. So it's just a little harder for them to catch up to you. So yeah, that's also a very good method that pros use, and it's just very useful. And like I said before, uh, people on top of you pretty much can't touch you, and it's just really hard to get to. And this is the one I recommend the most, but you need to be a little bit better to use this method. So see you guys later, and just thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe. See you guys later. I'm out. Peace.